Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Karu News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is not only current, but it's very hot and it's burning topic. The topic is Mathura becoming another Ayodhya? But before I will go on the main topic, I would like to inform you that today world is celebrating International Volunteer Day. International Volunteer Day is an international observance mandated by the United Nations General Assembly in 1985. It offers an opportunity for volunteer involving organizations and individual volunteers to promote volunteerism, encourage governments to support volunteer efforts, and recognize volunteer contribution to the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) at local, national, and international level. Volunteers are often the first to act in times of crisis, helping millions to survive despite the risks. Their work uphold our common humanity, said UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Media conference with Lal Goel extend their greetings to all volunteers on this day. Today, the world is also observing World Soil Day. World Soil Day and its campaign Keep Soil Alive, Protect Soil Biodiversity aims to raise awareness of the importance of the maintaining healthy ecosystems and human well-being by addressing the growing challenges in soil management, fighting soil biodiversity loss, increasing soil awareness, and encouraging governments, organizations, communities, and individuals around the world to commit to proactively improving soil health. Media conference with Lal Goel hopes that on this day, we all should take pledge to protect the health of soil. Now, coming to very, very important topic of today's, that is Mathura becoming another Ayodhya? So, Mathura is a holy city for Hinduism and is considered the heart of Braj Bhumi, the land of Krishna. The twin city to Mathura is Vrindavan. There are many places of historic and religious importance in Mathura and its neighboring towns. Krishna Janamsthan Temple Complex is an important group of temples built around what is considered to be the birthplace of Lord Krishna. The temple complex contains Keshav Dev Temple, Grab Greh Shrine, Bhagvat Bhavan, and the Rang Bhumi, where the final battle between Krishna and Kans took place. The Krishna Janamsthan Temple Complex is a group of Hindu temples in Malapura, Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. These temples are built at the location where the Hindu deity Krishna is believed to be born and is adjacent to the Eidgah mosque built by Aurangzeb. The place has held religious significance since the 6th century BC. The temples were destroyed multiple times throughout history, most recently by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1670. He built the Eidgah mosque there, which still stands. In 20th century, the new temple complex adjacent to the mosque was built with the financial help from the industrialist containing the Keshav Dev Temple, the Grib Greh Temple at the birthplace, and the Bhagwata Bhavan. According to Hindu traditions, Krishna was born to Devaki and Vasudev in a prison cell where they were confined by his maternal uncle Kans, a king of Mathura, due to prophecy of his death by the child of Devaki. According to tradition, a temple dedicated to Krishna was built the birthplace by his great-grandson Vajranabh. The present site known as Krishna Janamsthan was known as Katra Keshav Dev. Aurangzeb attacked Mathura and destroyed that Keshav Dev temple in 1670 and built the Shahi Eidgah in its place. Mathura came under British control in 1804. Now I am telling the sequences about this particular place, which is becoming a bone of contention today. The East India Company auctioned the land of Katra and it was purchased by Raja Patnimal, a wealthy banker of Banaras. Raja Patnimal wanted to build the temple but could not do so. His descendants inherited the land of Katra. His descendant Rai Krishnadas was challenged for the ownership of 13.37 acres of land on which the shrine and the Shahi Idgah is situated in 2 civil suits by the Muslims of Mathura, but the Allahabad High Court ruled in favor of Raj Krishnadas in both suits in 1935. Kailash Nath Karju and Madan Mohan Chaturvedi had helped in these lawsuits. Politician and educationist Madan Mohan Malviya acquired the land from Raj Krishnadas on 7th February 1944 at the cost of rupees 13,000 with financial help of industrialist Jugal Kishore Birla. Following death of Malviya, Jugal Kishore Birla formed a trust named Shri Krishna Janam Bhoomi Trust, later registered as the Shri Krishna Janam Sthan Seva Sansthan on 21st February 1951 and acquired the land. Jugal Kishore Birla entrusted the construction of the new temple with another industrialist and philanthropist, Jai Dalmia. The construction of the temple complex was started in October 1953 with leveling of lands and completed in February 1982. His eldest son, Vishnu Hari Dalmia, succeeded him and served on the trust until his death. His grandson, Anurag Dalmia, is joint managing trustee on the trust. The construction was funded by other business families, including Ramnath Goenka. In 1968, the Shri Krishna Janmasthan Seva Sangh and the Shahi Idgah Committee reached a compromise agreement which granted the temple land to the trust and the management of the Shahi Idgah to the Idgah Committee, as well no legal claim of the Shri Krishna Janmasthan Seva Sangh on the Shahi Idgah. Indian National Congress leader Ganesh Vasudev Mavlankar was the first chairman of the Shri Krishna Janmasthan Seva Sangh, which signed the compromise agreement, and his legal authority to sign agreement is contested. He was succeeded by M.A. Iyengar, followed by Akhandanand Saraswati and Ramdev Maharaj. Nitya Gopal Das is the present chairman. Following the demolition of Babri Mosque in 1992, Manohar Lal Sharma, a resident of Vrindavan, has filed a petition in the Mathura District Court challenging the 1968 agreement, as well as petition to quash the Places of Religious Worship Act of 1991, which preserves the status quo as on 15th August 1947 for all places of worship, excluding Ram Janam Bhoomi, Ayodhya. After the Babri Mosque was demolished in Ayodhya in December 1992, Hindutva activists adopted a new slogan, Ayodhya to sirf jhanki hai, Kashi aur Mathura baki hai. Ayodhya is only the trailer. Now the Kashi and Mathura are remaining. After the Supreme Court in November allowed Hindus to begin constructing a Ram temple on the site on which Babri Mosque has stood, many feared that this would embolden the calls for similar campaigns against mosques in Kashi and Mathura. As if on cue, civil suits were filed in a Mathura court seeking to reclaim a site that was described as the birthplace of Krishna and incarnation of God Vishnu. The plaint alleges that the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb destroyed part of the temple that marked the Krishna Janamasthan. The Idgah Mosque now stands there. It wants the mosque which stands next to Krishna Janamasthan temple to be removed. The suit maintains that a compromise reached between the Hindus and Muslims regarding the disputed site in 1968 was not legally valid, as it was obtained through false submission. The suit is similar to the narrative used by Hindutva supporters to claim the site of the Babri Masjid in Ayodhya. In that case, they allege that the mosque had been built on the very spot where the god Ram had been born after the Mughals demolished a temple that had stood there. Even the evidence that is being submitted to the court in the Mathura suit has taken a line similar to the Ayodhya case. On 17th November, the Akhil Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha announced that it will install a Lord Krishna idol at the deity's actual birthplace, which it claims as is in the Shahi Eidgah. Hindu Mahasabha leader Rajya Shri Chaudhary said the statue would be installed on 6th December after performing Mahajal Abhishek to purify the place. Following Hindu Mahasabha's announcement, another Hindu outfit, the Narayani Sena, has proclaimed that it will take out a Sankalp Yatra march from Vishram Ghat to Sri Krishna Janmasthan, demanding the removal of the Shahi Eidgah mosque. In view of these announcements, the Mathura police informed that it had detained Narayani Sena Secretary Amit Mishra in Mathura, Kotwali, while the outfit claimed that its national president Manish Yadav had been detained in Lucknow. Apart from this, the police have also arrested State Secretary Neeraj Sharma from Mathura for disrupting peace. The Mathura district administration has imposed prohibitory orders under CRPC section 144. On 1st December, Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya stirred the political cauldron, saying the party is preparing to build a temple in Mathura as construction of temples in Ayodhya and Kashi is underway. In his words, Ayodhya Kashi Bhavya Mandir Nirman jari hai, Mathura ki tayyari hai, Maurya said in a tweet he posted in Hindi. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav said the comment shows BJP sensing defeat in forthcoming elections, which are going to held somewhere in early 2022. On 3rd December, former District Secretary Samajwadi Party Pawan Yadav petitioned to Supreme Court for immediate direction for the protection of Shahi Eidgah. He also requested the court for extra deployment of police forces, including BSF, CRPF, etc. Now, to discuss this very, very important topic today, we have very elite, knowledgeable, and those who knows about this particular case as well as the situation at Mathura are our panelists. And I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and he is Mr. Pradeep Mathur. Mr. Pradeep Mathur is traveling right now, but he has promised that he will be joining on phone with me. So I am trying to connect. But meanwhile, I will just connect him on my, because he is traveling to Lucknow. Just hold on, please. So now Mr. Mathur is on the line. I will just introduce about Mr. Pradeep Mathur. Mr. Pradeep Mathur is BSc Honors LLB. Mr. Mathur is the former leader of Congress Legislature Party in UP Assembly at Lucknow. He was elected MLA from Mathura Vrindavan UP constituency for 4 terms, 20 years in 1985 to 1990, 2002 to 2007, 2007 to 2012, and 2012 to 2017. He was the chairman of Public Account Committee. He was the vice president and general secretary of Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee. He received Governor's Award as Best Social Worker of UP in settling down a family of poor Brahmin widow. He organized many blood camps, pensions for handicapped and widows, and provided artificial limbs for handicapped. On his behest, approximately rupees 3,000 crores projects of development work sanctioned and executed for Mathura Vrindavan. He was instrumental for getting CNG, PNG and industrial gas pipeline installed in Mathura. Welcome, Mr. Pradeep Mathur, on our show. Mr. Pradeep Mathur, you are on the air and we would like to know your views today, because today the condition of Mathura is that there is a fear that Mathura is becoming like Ayodhya, and on the same way the cases have been filed in the court, and the same way they are planning to do the car seva or putting the idol in the Shahi Idgah and try to disturb the peace in Mathura. Now, we would like to know your views on, is Mathura is becoming another Ayodhya? Mr. Pradeep Mathur, please. Okay. Mr. Mathur, I understand you are a political leader and in the opposition right now, but do you think that the Deputy Chief Minister of UP, if he is saying something, then the administration can go against that? Because after all, he's a Deputy Chief Minister and all the administration, the police comes under him. And when he had clearly mentioned on the very recently,
I already told that they are talking a double-edged sword. They're just behaving because the administration is under their control and the government belongs to them. However, the relationship between the chief minister and deputy chief minister is like a north and south pole. And this deputy chief minister is not holding the home department. Home department is in the control of Mr. Yogi.
Okay, now tell me one thing, how being the representative of Mathura for so long, and you have seen, you know the pulse of Mathura very well. Do you think the Mathura citizens want this type of disturbance? Because we have seen in Ayodhya, when the Ayodhya dispute started, for more than 30 years, Ayodhya business was totally zero. No business used to take place. And here also, whatsoever business is taking place at Mathura will again come on the standstill. Do you think Mathura's citizens want this type of temple?
Mathura people are absolutely the peace lover people. They are not wanting any turmoil into the town. They will turn down them and their appeal will be turned down by them. Forcefully they can do it, but with the help of the public, there will be no help from the side of the public. Today, Brahman Mahasabha has also brought out the appeal into the newspaper. No such things will be tolerated. The guys who are going to spoil the tranquility and peace of the town, they will not be tolerated at all.
Mr. Mathur, as far as my knowledge, because you know that I am also from Mathura, there is not a single good hospital today in Mathura. One hospital was there, Nayati Hospital, which is closed. Earlier, there used to be a Methodist hospital, or earlier to that was a CFC hospital. All are closed. Now, there is not a single...
These guys have nothing to do with the development activities. They have not even provided the preliminary things to the public. They are simply befooled. Their agenda is Mandir Masjid. Their agenda is Hindu-Muslim. They are just befooling not only in UP, in all of the country. Whatever is being done, they just do it during the course of election. They have just, the Modi ji has put the foundation stone of their airport, Jewar airport. No budget is being allocated so far. They used to do big scheme announcements, but they all go into fiasco because those schemes are never being filled up. Their corona management was also failed. Lakhs of people have died, and they have even forgotten Hindutva at that point of time when they have floated dead bodies into Ganga and other rivers, and they have buried the body into the earth, even of the Hindus.
Yeah. Mr. Mathur, in the last, I would like to know, you are dealing and you are quite popular in the Muslim society also, and you are dealing with Hindus.
Muslim and Hindus.
You both.
And the Muslims and Hindus both have that trust in me. Both of the communities are in touch with me. They all are wanting that save Mathura. Mathurji, you try to bring out everything out of your coffer. The tranquility and peace of Mathura should be kept safe. And I am working on that direction. I will not allow these communal people to disturb our lovely town Mathura and Vrindavan because the Lord Krishna has given his sandesh from Mahabharata sandesh from Kurukshetra. But he was born and brought up at Mathura. From the dharti of Mathura, Lord Krishna will not allow these culprits to raise their heads.
Mr. Mathur, you already had some meetings with the administration earlier. What they say?
Marathon meeting with the collector and SSP. I straight away put the question, when your top bosses will say withdraw yourself, then what you will do? So they were keeping the fingers crossed, but they are not getting this kind of a direction because the person sitting on the seat of the chief minister, he will not allow them to do it. Maybe Tom, Dick and Harry is like Sakshi Ji Maharaj, like this Maurya and other Tom, Dick and Harrys of the BJP can try to create. It may be the direction of RSS. It may be the direction of the top people, top notches of the BJP that we will be
Okay, but tell me one thing. We have seen at Ayodhya when even the chief minister at that time, Mr. Kalyan Singh, he has given a.
We don't have trust on these people.
No, but he has given he has given a affidavit in the Supreme Court.
But I'll tell you, the people of Mathura are very vigilant. They will, if even the forces will be withdrawn, the public will not allow them to do this, because it's being surrounded. The area is being surrounded by the Muslim communities. They are already very alert on this issue. They will not allow any damage to mosque and temple. Both mosque and temple will remain intact, and the public of Mathura safeguard these two monuments over there.
So according to you, Mathura is not going to become another Ayodhya.
We will not allow them to make this issue as a political issue. We will not allow them to make it as a second Ayodhya. And because now the people are vigilant, because they have miserably failed in the governance of the country and the state. They used to bring out dharm in between the politics. Our party always keep dharm separately and the politics separately.
Okay.
But they are spilling out dharm as far as the politics is concerned.
Okay, thank you very much. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रदीप माथुर जी आपका कि आप हमारे संग जुड़े और आपने रास्ते में चलते हुए भी हमें समय दिया और अपनी बात रखी. And yeah, I know. Or we hope that tomorrow nothing untoward incident will take place and the peace will be there, and a better sense will prevail to all those miscreants who are trying to create the problem tomorrow. Thank you very much, Pradeep Mathur ji. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. So you have seen how the Mr. Mathur has given his views, very, very strong views. He belongs to the opposition party, but he has given his views very, very clearly. And he says that nothing is going to happen and no one can come and do anything which can harm the peace and harmony in Mathura. So let's keep our finger crossed and see that tomorrow nothing should happen. Now, I would like to invite my second guest, and he is Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, I will just see. Yeah, I spoke to Advocate Sharma some time ago, and Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma is the chairman of Gyan Deep Shiksha Bharti Senior Secondary School, Mathura. He is a leading lawyer of Western UP and more than 41 years of practice. He is regularly appearing in Supreme Court and different high courts, including Allahabad, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh, etc. He is extensively practicing constitutional, civil and taxation matters. He is also rendering social services. He is secretary of Kans Nikandan Trust Mathura. He is founder secretary of Civil Lawyers Forum and president thereafter. So I have already spoken to him, and he has to say, I will just play his words. Welcome, Advocate Sharma, on our show. Advocate Sharma, you are from Mathura. You are a leading advocate, and you are also involved in one of the cases where about this dispute between Eidgah, Shahi Eidgah, as well as the temple. Although it's not a dispute among the temple and the Shahi Eidgah, rather it is a dispute between some of the some petitioner who has filed, and you are also one of the petitioner which you have filed in the civil court in Mathura. Now, my question, and you have know that today's topic is that Mathura becoming Ayodhya, because what we have seen in Ayodhya, where the litigation took almost more than 50-60 years,
and after that only the decision came. But till that time, and for last almost 25 or 30 or more years, the entire city Ayodhya was crippled. The businesses were down. Now we would like to know your stand as far as is Mathura becoming Ayodhya, and what is the legal stand in this? Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, please.
Yeah, Mr. Goel, first I would like to congratulate you for having a topic of future importance. Currently, this is not a problem, but this problem is being created and aggravated due to political reasons. And in near future, if it is more aggravated, it may create problems in Mathura city also, like that of Ayodhya. Coming to the topic, political parties or political leaders are always afraid of elections. Though after winning election, they become monarch. But prior to election, they are always afraid of it, and they try their best to affect the minds of the pupil in their favor. Religion is a very sensitive subject. It relates to the deep of every person and emotions also. So from last about more than 30 years, political parties are using these religious feelings to convert in their votes. Previously, the matter was there. Now it is no more issue. And Mathura matter is being aggravated due to elections. As we see that in near future, perhaps in the month of February or March, elections are expected in not only in UP but in 4 other states also. So it is being done intentionally to affect the mind of the pupil and to aggravate the religious feelings, or to divide the votes, having a division of votes on communal basis. How far it is correct, that is a separate thing. But if we see the history, Somnath temple was there. Because of in India, so many temples were destroyed. We will like to have one by one. Somnath temple was destroyed and looted, but no mosque was constructed at the site of the Somnath temple. After independence, Sardar Patel started the reconstruction of Somnath temple, and it was completely reconstructed. No problem was there. But in so many other places where temples were destroyed, some mosques were constructed partly at the site of the temple or totally at the site of the temple. Coming to Kashi Vishwanath and Gyanvapi matter at Banaras, the Kashi Vishwanath temple was destroyed and Gyanvapi mosque was constructed over a part of the Kashi Vishwanath temple, not over the temple itself, but rather over a particular part of the land of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So, after reconstruction, Kashi Vishwanath temple was just adjacent to the Gyanvapi masjid. A few land was under some dispute. As now it has become a constituency of our Prime Minister, and our Prime Minister tried his best to reconstruct it, Kashi Vishwanath temple, in a very nice manner, and they tried their best, and now some land has been exchanged in between Gyanvapi mosque and Kashi Vishwanath temple. Some unuseful land of temple has been given to Gyanvapi mosque, and some land of Gyanvapi mosque has been given to temple. So the dispute has been resolved, and the Gyanvapi mosque is there. It is having a separate gate, separate rasta, nothing to do with the temple site. And temple is being reconstructed in a very nice manner. So resolved of Gyanvapi and Kashi Vishwanath temple is almost settled. It is no more an issue. Now coming to Ayodhya, at Ayodhya, the temple was destroyed totally and the mosque was constructed at the site of the temple itself. So it was a big problem. No reconstruction of any temple was possible, though governments have acquired some land, but disputes were going on. And in 1992, the mosque was demolished illegally. I would like to say it was demolished illegally. Anyway, as it was demolished, and now there has come a judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, and the new temple is being constructed, so that issue of Ayodhya matter is no more alive for the political parties. Are you hearing me, Mr. Goel? Yeah, Mr. Goel.
Sharma, can you hear me?
Something now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Can you hear me or not?
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you now. Yeah.
Okay, please.
Masjid, their use, and some unuseful land or lesser useful land of temple was given in exchange to that land was demolished, though it was demolished in temple. So that if we see the legal side of this Christian Bhumi or Idgah Masjid side, initially the land was being owned by Katra Kesav Dev, it is a fact. And this mosque was constructed at about more than 400 years back at Aurangzeb time. Since then, this mosque is there. Though there were so many litigations after that, but in all those litigations, entire land, including the mosque part, that is about 13.5 acres. It was whole to be in the ownership of Katra Kesav. But that mosque or waqf was not a party to those litigations, and specific reference of the mosque was not there. That specific reference came in the litigation of 1963, which was resolved by way of a compromise in 1968. Now the suits have been got filed. 10 suits are there in Mathura for cancellation of that compromise of 1968 on the ground that the entire land belonged to Katra Kesav Dev, now vested in Krishna Bhagwan. Litigation is there, but as you may have remembered, in 1991, when the Ayodhya matter was very hot and Narsingh Rao government was there at center, they passed an act, Religious Spaces Act 1991. In this statute, provision was made that whatever religious places were existing as a temple or mosque or church or any other thing, on the date of independence, that is 15th of August 1947, they shall not be changed on any ground, and this act was not made applicable to the Ayodhya matter. So Ayodhya was kept out of the scope of this act. So Ayodhya matter was going on. Now this act is very much applicable for the Mathura matter. Till this act is in existence, nothing can be done, in spite of the fact that the mosque was constructed after demolition of the temple. If we see the local position, as I have several times visited that Garbhagriha constructed at that temple site, a gate of the Garbhagriha is opening towards the mosque site and it is closed. And it is being said that this gate is going to the place over which the mosque is constructed, and the mosque has been constructed over that part of the Garbhagriha. Though it is also a fact that a very huge and big temple has been constructed nearby to that Garbhagriha. So temple is there, only a part of the Garbhagriha is under that mosque. But as that 91 Act is there, no position can be changed at all. Now, after this BJP government, this 1991 Act has been challenged before the Honorable Supreme Court. As the petitioner say, Mr. Ashwini Kumar is there, that this Act is ultra virus and discriminatory also. No stay order has been passed by our Honorable Supreme Court in that matter, and that matter is still pending. No decision has come till today. Till that Act is in existence, legally, no place of worship can be changed at all. Either 10 suits or so many other suits, nothing can be done until unless this act is being scrapped by our Honorable Supreme Court. And I think that there are very less chances that the Honorable Supreme Court will scrap this act on any such ground. So legally, all this litigation is of fruitless, but it is fruitful for the political party to create the religious feeling or to have a division of votes on communal basis. So that is the main reason. Now, how far they will successful in aggravating the problem like Ayodhya or not, the future will tell. But statutory position is that at the time of the dispute of Ayodhya, no such statute was there. And when in 1991 this act came, Ayodhya was exempted from this act. So nothing was there to check the replacement of a religious place. But it is not so at Mathura. So legally, Mathura cannot be made Ayodhya at all. But it is for the political party.
Okay.
It is for their benefit. They are trying their best. I hope they will not succeed.
Advocate Sharma for. Okay, thank you, Advocate Sharma, for giving your views. But my question before you leave is, in case if the government, which is a BJP government in the center, if they repeal, like they have done the farm laws, 3 farm laws they repealed after passing through the parliament, if they will repeal this act through the parliament or through the ordinance, then what will be the situation?
Yeah, then definitely the position of Ayodhya will be created in Mathura also. Because of there shall be no statute like that. In all previous litigations, the entire ownership of entire land has been held to be ownership of the Katra Post case of the. That's a fact. So one thing is there. Adverse possession is there. For last about more than 400 years, Shahi Jama Masjid is existing there. So they got their title by way of adverse possession also. Statute is not there to save them, but title has been created by way of adverse possession. They have become the owner over that part of the land which is under the mosque.
Okay. Now my last question to you, Mr. Advocate Sharma, you are a resident of Mathura, you are a Brahmin, and so like Hindu mythology says that our religion, the Hindu religion is that Kan Kan mein Bhagwan, that in every particle the God is there. Our God is not in the mosque or those bricks or in the which has been used for the construction of the mosque. If it is, if we are going to break the mosque, are not we breaking our own God, Advocate Sharma?
Ethically, breaking of any religious place is not correct. Hindu mythology does not support this fact at all. It is only because of the political reasons. Hindu mythology does not support at all that the work of religious places of any other religion should be destroyed. Land may be owned by anyone. A religious place exists at that place. हमारा हिंदू धर्म तो सर्वसंभावी है, सबको समाहित करता है.
One more question, because I just received one petitioner or the applicant here of Mathura, one named Pawan Yadav, has filed an application to the Chief Justice of India yesterday, not yesterday, I think it is on Friday, to the Chief in the Supreme Court, stating that the central forces should be deployed so that no untowning incident should take place on the 6th, that is tomorrow, that is 6th on the Monday. Do you think it stands somewhere or not?
In our law, particularly from the time of Honorable Chief Justice P.N. Bhagwati, letters or applications may be treated as the writ petition. It is a discretion of our Supreme Court that what letter is being treated as writ petition or not. They may also take some suo motu cognizance even if no letter is there. So it is purely at the discretion of the Honorable Supreme Court. But as I see, local administration is trying their best so that no dispute erupted. Now, political high-ups may think otherwise. That is a separate. But local administration is trying their best.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Sharma, for giving your time, valuable time, to us, and I'm sure our viewers have now clear picture about the legal status of the Shahi Eidgah and Krishna Janambhoomi. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Mr. Goel.
Advocate
Thank you very
Sharma.
much.
Thank you
So
for giving your
you
time.
have
Thank you very
seen
much.
what Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma has mentioned about the legal status of those cases which have been filed in Mathura courts, and in one of the case he is also there, but he is opposing this particular thing because he believes that these cases are not having any standing, and they are all with a wrong footing what they have done. And but he is very clear. He says that even Hindu mythology never says to break any religious places. Thank you, Advocate Sharma, who has spoken to me earlier. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Advocate Gagan Gandhi. Advocate Gagan Gandhi is the managing partner of Niti Nyaya Law Offices, New Delhi. After doing his graduation in mathematics and statistics from St. Stephen's College, he completed his management from Faculty of Management Studies, FMS, University of Delhi. He worked in American Express Private Limited in their risk and information department before he decided to do law from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. He has research paper on Social and Environmental Disclosure Index, SEDI. He deals with the cases of check dishonor, probate, succession, partition and possession, recovery suits, commercial suits, service matters, writ petitions, civil and criminal, apart from pro bono litigation. He has worked extensively on Right to Information Act, relying on the same for seeking replies as an evidence and for inputs in policy making. Welcome, Advocate Gagan Gandhi, on our show. Advocate Gagan Gandhi, you have heard what Mr. Pradeep Mathur as well as Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma has mentioned, and both are resident of Mathura, and they have given their views. Mr. Pradeep Mathur, being a representative, he represented Mathura legislative constituency for 4 times. So he was there for almost 20 years, and he has given his views, and he is very, very clear. He says, although we cannot rely on the administration, because the administration is in fix. If the high-ups will say something, they have to do. But he has given a very important point that there is a infight between the chief minister and the deputy chief minister, and because there is a call from by the deputy chief minister to build the temple, and this call was given on the 1st of December. So that's why this havoc has been created. Otherwise, earlier calls given by some Hindu Mahasabha or someone else is not been taken so seriously. But what Advocate Sharma says, he is very, very clear. He says, as far as the legality is concerned, till the Act of 1991 exists, and if until the Supreme Court will not give any judgment, nothing can be done, even in those petitions which have been filed in local Mathura courts. But in case, even if that the law or the bill act is to be repealed by the parliament, then also, according to him, because of the possession which is already there for more than 400 years by the Shahi Eidgah, it is not possible to get it vacated and do it accordingly. Now, we would like to know your views. Is Mathura becoming another Ayodhya? Advocate Gagan Gandhi, please.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Goel for inviting me on this insightful, intriguing, and as well as topic which has consequences for the future of this country. So this debate is actually political, legal, religious, and having social impact. So going into the background of it, that why we are right now debating that is Mathura becoming next Ayodhya or not. So first of all, what was the need of Ayodhya to become Ayodhya? Was the belief of the people that yes, it was Lord Ram was born at that place, and Mughals actually destroyed that and created a mosque over that place. So it was not only a religious issue, it was an attack on the identity also. So if you see history, if there has been attack on the identity. So you will find those corrections happening. So they may not happen at that point of time, but surely those corrections, which we call aberrations, do take place over the period of time. And that was one such issue, which was belief of the people that it was a direct attack on their identity. Having said that, as Mr. Sharma was rightly pointing about the Act of 1991, which is going to actually come in the way of the change from mosque to mandir. But what was the reason of bringing that 1991 Act, and what was the timing for that Act actually? It was in the year 91 when Narasimha Rao's government was at place, and when the Ram Janambhoomi issue was picking up heat. So look at the timing and the sequence of events which made it necessary for the previous government to actually bring this act. And with due respect to all the political parties, so this issue actually is one issue which has been used to their advantage in one form or the other form. But yes, we can't forget that the objective of every political party is to establish the will of the people. So if the will of the people is that, yes, Ayodhya Mandir should be constructed, then that is the objective of political party. So right now we cannot question that why they are implementing it or why it was implemented, because it was in their manifesto and they were elected based on their manifesto. So now we can't go back and question that they made it a political issue. Yes, it was a political issue. So it was written on the wall. So there is nothing hidden in that. And they fought elections based on this plank, and people elected them, voted them to power based on this plank. So saying that they are looking for political gains will be misplaced. Having said that, so at the time of passing of this 1991 Act, Somnath Temple, Kashi Vishwanath Temple, and Krishna Ram Janambhoomi, which we are discussing right now, they were kept out of this ambit. Only Ayodhya was kept in the ambit to protect so that the heat which was generated does not take a different turn. But yes, there was protest. The BJP members actually walked out of the parliament because of the fact that these three temple issues, which Mr. Sharma and Mr. Mathur was also talking about, were kept deliberately out of the ambit of this act. Now, why it was kept out of the ambit? Because of the political overturns, because of the consequences which the state at that point of time could have actually apprehended. Now, as this country has witnessed, so we had 370 being revoked. So 370 was also actually in that direction. So this genesis actually starts from a two-nation theory, whereby all the Muslim communities, they chose to be in Pakistan and India chose to be a secular country. The word secular being incorporated in the year 1975. The importance of that was that the state, in the eyes of state, all the religions will be equal. So there will be no appeasement for any religion. But if minority keeps on harping upon the fact that just because they are in minority and they need special privileges from the state, so then majority has to step in. Majority will step in to protect their rights, to protect their identity, for the distribution of the resources of the country. It is very important. And just because I am in minority, I cannot be harping upon that fact to get a disadvantageous allocation of resources. For example, now in Jammu, in state of Jammu, you will be surprised to know the fact that the Muslims are in majority, and in the name of minority, they are enjoying all the privileges. So hence, the special status which was being granted had to be revoked, and that was also one of the promises of the government in their manifesto. So now we can't create hue and cry just because now they have started implementing the manifesto. So it is one such government which promised something is not delivering it. Yes, but having said that, as far as law and order situation is concerned, so I will totally agree with Mr. Sharma. Yes, that until and unless that 1991 Act is repealed, it will be difficult for the trust or for the Krishna Janmabhoomi or the people or the petitioners who are agitating this issue to get it done legally.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Gandhi.
Yeah. And Mr. Mathur was talking about that the government is not looking after the employment, is not looking after the well-being, not
No,
looking
that
after
is
the.
no, Mr. Gandhi. That is Advocate Gandhi. That is because he's a politician, he has to speak. But okay. Now I would
No,
like to
so
ask. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah. So one thing which I like to emphasize upon is that it's not an or situation. So the country should look it as an and situation. Yes, definitely country is going through tough times, but it should not be that it's this versus that. It has to be and situation. Yes, we have to cater to the employment issue as well. We have to cater to the healthcare. We have to cater to the education. So just because the government is also implementing their promises does not mean that they are not looking after the other aspects. So it cannot be looked in that manner also.
Okay. Now, Advocate Gagan Gandhi, thank you very much. And what Advocate Gagan Gandhi says that this is a political, social, and religious issues, and he says that because of the 1991 situation, this act was introduced, and that's why this particular Mathura Krishna Janam Sthan cannot be touched, as Advocate Sharma has also mentioned, legally. Now, he has emphasized legally because according to him, legally it can't be done. It means illegally it can be done. But we will talk to that afterwards. But my question to you is, Advocate Gagan Gandhi, we are talking of the history of more than 400 years. We have all the records. We don't have records of the deaths occurred due to the shortage of oxygen. We don't have any records even for the Kisan deaths, how many Kisans have been died, because we don't have record. These are very small things. 700 people died or few thousand people have died due to the shortage of oxygen. Although the media was highlighting, everybody was talking, but now in the parliament, there was a statement that no, we don't have any record. But we have records of 400 years back or 50 years back, what has happened, what has been transpired, all the records are with us. What do you say about that, Advocate Gandhi?
Yeah, Mr. Goel. So first of all, I am not in favor that it will be done illegally. So I will refrain from going in that direction, obviously. But since I was asked about the legal position, so I made myself clear that as far as the law of the land is concerned, yes, 1991 Act actually, and I have given the background in under what circumstances that Act was passed, and that should also be given due importance. Yes, so you are right. So I do not know what records the government is going to bring, the records which are talking about 400 years old. But yes, we have been witness to the lack of oxygen supply. We have been witness to the dead bodies. We have been witness to the unavailability of beds in the hospitals. We cannot close our eyes and say that, yes, we do not have records. Yes, definitely the duty of the government is to have the records actually. If they do not have the records, then the concerned officers actually should be called upon.
So basically the records, so my point is not that that is a separate topic we will discuss, but the thing is, when we talk of past histories, we have all the records. We claim that we have all the records, but we don't have the records of recent. Now my second question is, has anybody asked the fate of the Mathura citizens? Mathura citizens, we have seen what happened in Ayodhya. In Ayodhya, for last 30 years, till from 91 or 92, when the Babri Mosque was demolished, there was no business. Paramilitary forces were lying there, and so many things were happening before that also. How you expect a city which is supposed to be the birthplace of Lord Krishna, who is supposed to be the supreme power in Hindu mythology. People should understand, in Hindu mythology, Lord Krishna is superior even to Lord Ram, because he was a 16 Kala avatar, while Lord Ram was only 12 Kala avatar. And in spite of that, such type of controversy, what will happen? Those people who are coming not from India, from anywhere in the world, those who are coming to visit Krishna Janambhumi, who wants to come to the birthplace of Lord Krishna, will not be able to reach because of these types of disputes. And when the everything will be under, and today the condition, as I have received the report from Mathura, is totally, it has become a chhavni, it has become a totally under the control of paramilitary forces. All the roads leading towards this temple has been blocked for 3 days. Now, what, where the Hindus stand? If we cannot go to visit, to do the darshan of our own Krishna Bhagwan, then what is the use of the temple? And the question which I asked with Advocate Sharma also, that question stands. Hindu mythology always stands and very, very clear that every particle that our Lord is there, our God is there. How come we are in such a petty things we are fighting? Don't you think this is nothing but an election stunt? Because everybody knows now the Ram Janambhoomi is solved. If Kashi Vishwanath is also sorted out. Now only thing where they can stand to win or to have a chance to win in 22, to polarize the voters, and why that is why they are doing this particular thing now only 2.5 months before the election. What you say about this, Advocate Gandhi?
Yeah, so you have raised very, very important questions at the eve of the elections, actually. But let us not doubt the wisdom of these people. So first of all, I promise you something. I agitate upon that for so many years. Then I go before the people and I tell them that this is what I'm going to do for you. People vote me, people elect me. And then when I do that, then it is said that it's an election plan. So
Advocate Gagan Gandhi, here I will stop. The promises were to bring those black money back to India. The promises were to give 15 lakhs to each of the account holder. We are not talking about that, because now those are jumlas. We are only talking about those things where we can polarize the society. Why we are doing? What is the situation? The promises were that the rate of petrol, diesel will be below 40 or 50 rupees. Now today, what is the situation? Nobody is talking. The promises were that will no inflation, no mehengai. What is the situation today? Are we talking only for those things which no one in Mathura city wants to discuss? You might have won the things for other parts, but you are doing something which is not acceptable for the citizens of Mathura, and you want to impose it because of your because you want to win the elections in UP or in the 2024.
So first of all, Mr. Goel, unfortunately, we are debating, is Mathura becoming Ayodhya? We are not debating that whether we are getting black money from the
no, because you said that this has been promised in the manifesto. My question is very clear. It means you agree that Mathura is becoming Ayodhya, because Ayodhya, they have built up a temple, so they would like to build up the temple in Mathura. That is, according to you, it means?
No, let me clarify. So if the topic was that whether the government is actually serious about getting the black money, I would have spoken about that. But since we are discussing that whether Mathura is becoming Ayodhya, so I will limit myself to that. So this is actually a question of civilization also. So the Hindu mythology does not say that it also says that injustice anywhere is justice nowhere. So if we go by the Hindu mythology, then the war which was fought would never have been fought actually, if that was that easy and that simple. This was same Lord Krishna which was acting as a mediator between the Pandavas and Kauravas. But despite the alternate dispute resolution which he adopted, the Kauravas were hell bent that they will not give even a land equivalent to a piece of needle. So then actually this war was forced upon that. So it was attack on the identity. So I'm bringing back the same thing actually. So it is your age-old civilization So we are mixing a lot of things together in this debate.
But Advocate Gagan Gandhi, Lord Krishna was a Lord or a God of love. His message was for love, especially in Mathura. If you go there, you will find that the citizens are in love with Lord Krishna. They treat Lord Krishna as their friend. They never treat them as a Lord. They treat them as a Sakha. So basically, for Mathura people, there is a different feeling for Lord Krishna. And they always, their Lord Krishna is in their heart. They are praying, and you see that every house is having Lord Krishna with them, with their Bal Roop, and they do all Abhishek everywhere. Why it is required by such type of organizations and a responsible official functionary like a deputy chief minister without taking any consent from anyone? Otherwise, why our prime minister has not spoken? No, nothing doing. We are going to have the Mathura thing, and we are going to repeal the law first and do it legally. No problem. That is a legal way. But just to say now we will construct Mathura, it instigates the feelings of those miscreants, those who call themselves so-called Hindus, and they want to do something which is illegal. Do you think, as an advocate or as a citizen of India, we must promote the illegality? Otherwise, if you want to repeal, like you have repealed 370, nobody has a question. Somebody is raising question, that is a separate thing. Here also, if you want to take over, demolish the mosque which is existing for 400 years. And one more thing I would like to tell to our viewers, this mosque is a vibrant mosque. Here every Friday their nawaz they are performing. The difference in the Ayodhya was that Babri mosque was not a vibrant mosque. There was no namaz used to be performed. So when you want to destroy something which is having something, and you know that if you have a possession for 400 years, you are in the possession. So basically, you are the holder of the property. You are the owner. You become the owner of the property for the possession. So when this is a situation, why not go in the legal way, repeal the law, then say that now we want to do it, instead of going through a backdoor entry just for keeping an eye in the election? That is my question. Yes, Advocate Gagan Gandhi.
Yeah, so Mr. Goel, the tweet by the Deputy Chief Minister, I do not know under what circumstances the same has been made, and neither I am defending anybody's thought process, neither I am advocating anybody's thought process here. But yes, you rightly said that illegality of any sort should not be resorted to for such kind of issues, which are actually impacting the social, the religious, the emotional quotient of every citizen of this country. Yes, so I would say even the courts should be the last resort for resolving this dispute. So there should be a dialogue. If there is any issue, actually, if there should be a dialogue between the two communities, and then it should be resolved. As Mr. Sharma pointed out, that the Somnath issue has been amicably settled, and as far as the Kashi Vishwanath also, which houses the constituency of a prime minister, that has been also been addressed. So in a similar manner, on similar lines, this can also be resolved. And if actually truly there is a will of the people to change it, they think, then yes, repealing 1991 Act is the only resort to it.
That's true, Advocate Gandhi. You are rightly said that we have to do, if you want to do legally. But the question is, those who are performing puja every day, those who are residents there, why not they should raise the point? Why not the persons who are there? Why a deputy chief minister? He's not a resident of Mathura. What he knows the feelings of Mathura citizens. If tomorrow anyone in United Nations pass a resolution that India should do these things without taking the views of Indian citizens, is it legalized or it is enforceable? It should be correct. Although in India, law will say yes, the parliament can do many things, but ethically I am asking you, is it correct that without taking the confidence of the citizens of the country or the particular city, you are imposing something which they don't want? Or if they want, let them decide that this is time whether we should demolish or not demolish. First thing. Second thing, whether we want to treat, as you initially you mentioned that minority and majority, we should treat our minority and we should say, no, you are in minority, so you have to behave nicely. Like a mother can say, you are a child, you cannot do anything, I don't love you, it is my way or highway. So you think that we should deal minorities like this? If it is like this, then what is going to happen to all Indian citizens who are residents of all the countries abroad, whether in USA and UK, if those countries will also start treating Indians in minority, which are in minority, and they will say, now we will also not allow your puja sthals or no allow things like that, what is going to happen, Advocate Gandhi? Don't you think it is bit unethical also? Forget the legality, as you mentioned, we are not no illegality can be done, but ethically is not correct at this stage when we are talking in 2021.
Yeah, so first of all, he is the leader of the entire state. So he is not representing only his constituency in the capacity in which he has voiced this opinion. Now, the question is actually whether he has taken the confidence of the people of Mathura or not. That only he can answer this, that whether he took confidence of the people into consideration or not. Yes, since he is holding a constitutional post, since he is democratically elected also, then the onus lies more on him that he has to be not only legally correct, but morally and ethically also correct. But the mechanism, the setup which our constitution gives us is the democracy, and all ills of democracy is more democracy. So if the people think, if the people believe that yes, he is not the candidate whom we can trust, then definitely the elections are the only mechanism where you can have a change of the guard.
Yes, you are right, Advocate Gandhi. Like, but you understand, if he is right, then why the police has arrested those who have appealed, or those who say we will do like this? If he is right, then no question of arresting anyone. And as Advocate, not Advocate, Mr. Pradeep Mathur mentioned, that there is a infight which is available, which everybody knows in UP, at least, that there is an infight going on between the chief minister and the deputy chief minister, and chief minister doesn't want to rake up this issue, but the deputy chief minister just want to be one up on the chief minister has done this thing. If he has done this thing, why no legal action has been taken? When there is a legality, when somebody will say something, the sedition case comes out, because you are instigating, you are creating the enmity among the two groups, or but here no sedition case has been filed because he's a deputy chief minister. Why? Is there a law bars that no sedition case has been filed to the deputy chief minister if he tried to create enmity between two religious religions, or it is only for those who are talking against the government, Advocate Gandhi?
Yeah, so as far as the action being taken, so that will be the prerogative of the chief minister of the state, actually, where this opinion has been voiced. Secondly, as far as you were asking about the minority versus majority. So my point was that both should coexist. So minority should not take advantage of the fact that they are in minority, and that majority should not take advantage that they are in majority. So coexistence of both, coexistence of their rights, the distribution of resources according to their demographic profile. So that is what I was actually talking about.
Okay. Now, my question you have not answered. My question is, if any normal person speak something which create enmity between two religions, the sedition case can be filed and is filed.
Yeah.
Here, a deputy chief minister has spoken very clearly, not spoken, tweeted. It's not that you have misrepresented me. No, it's his tweet. It clearly going to create enmity between two peace-loving religions who are there in Mathura. Why no such type of action has been taken? Or the law prohibits, I am asking you the legality. The legality is the sedation case to be filed only if you are speaking against the ruling party. If you are through the ruling party, if you are saying something, then no sedation case will be filed. What is your stand legally, Advocate Gandhi?
Yeah, so one thing I would like to emphasize here is there is difference between creating animosity between the two religious groups and an affirmative action for one religious group. Yeah, if this tweet is actually, this tweet has to be examined by the concerned law enforcing agencies. Yes, if it is creating animosity between the groups, then certainly they will be contemplating, or the action should be taken as per the law. There is no denial in that fact, because our law does not differentiate between people who are ruling and people who are being ruled. So having
yes, please go ahead.
So yeah, so that is one aspect of it. Second thing is that if I say, if I'm doing any affirmative action, or if I'm taking any affirmative action for a particular group or for a particular community, then it will not be creating animosity between the two groups or between the two communities.
If it is like this, Advocate Gandhi, why the total Mathura has become Chhauni? Why there are flag marches going on for last 5 days, every day? Why there is no, all the roads have been blocked? If it is not been created, it clearly shows that law and order situation has been created by the statement or by the tweet of the Deputy Chief Minister. Still, no action has been taken by the administration or by the government. It clearly shows that the action has to be taken if somebody will speak against the minority in those ruling areas where these governments are there of the ruling parties. Then only the sedation case can be filed or action can be taken. But if somebody is doing something, and otherwise, if you think that there is no animosity and no nothing has been done, then why we are doing all these things? Why the police force, so much paramilitary and police force is lying at Mathura today? That is the question of mine.
Yeah, so this actually question is contradictory in itself. At one hand, we are asking that what actions are being taken, and in the same breath, we are asking that why so many actions have been taken. So the local administration actually considers that the same history should not be repeated. So that is why there is
so Advocate Gandhi, you have agreed that that same history is not to be repeated, means this statement is a burning statement, and that's why the administration are understood that it is going to create very much a law and order, serious law and order situation. It only happens if there is something which is not acceptable to one side or one group, and that's why this thing happens. My question is very, very plain and simple again and again. If I or you give such type of statement which will create this type of rift, and where the ruling party, the statement is pinching the ruling party or to the majority, I will be booked under the sedation case immediately. But if a deputy chief minister, who is a constitutional post according to you, is giving this statement as on holding the constitutional post, my question again is our law is weak, or a law is or law give them shield that no one can file a case against you, or our bureaucracy or police department is spineless to take action against the deputy chief minister?
No, our law is not weak. Our law does not say that you cannot take action. But yes, at the end of the day, it is the prerogative, I said, of the chief minister of the state, of the elected body of the state, to decide what action will be taken. So it is not you and me.
Do you think, Advocate Gandhi, that anyone will take the action of the same party? We have seen what happened in Kangana Raut's case, and I am taking her name. She was there yesterday in Mathura. And now to create, why? When she has given the statements and she has spoken something about the father of nation, no sedation case has been filed by the ruling party, the BJP. Only those sedation case have been filed which are being ruled by the opposition party. So it means now if you give some statement which is against against those in the opposition ruled state will file the sedition case, and if it is against the majority, so it will be like a misuse or use of the law. But anyway, you have given my tough questions reply, although I know that it is something going beyond, but the condition is there. That's why I
So
asked.
one thing I would
yeah.
like to, this is actually, you have raised a very important issue of separation of powers. But that will be a different subject. So I will be opening up a Pandora's box if I start speaking on that.
Why not we keep that thing for the next session? Definitely, we are going to do it.
Yeah, I will just end up with this note that this is actually discretion of the executive, and fortunately or unfortunately, the investigation lies with the executive. Now, if you are not happy with the executive, you have the remedy in the next election.
Yes. Thank you very much, Advocate Gandhi, for giving your views. And viewers, what we have seen today, what we are seeing in Mathura, and what is happening, and what our experts have spoken, they are very, very clear in one point. Till the time 1991 Act is there, no one can change the way they are projecting that we will construct the temple where the mosque is there. Already the temple was constructed, huge temple was constructed by the very big industrial houses, and that temple is really worth to see. But if we want to construct one more temple, only that here only our Lord has born, this is again a question what we have seen in Ayodhya. So it means they want to make it like Ayodhya. Who is going to suffer for 30 years? Either they should be very, very clear that we are repealing the law today, and this is our time frame, that in 5 months or 6 months, no court, whether it is Supreme Court or High Court or Civil Court, they will not intervene. Like we have seen in Ayodhya case, 50, 60, 70 years old case, linger on, ultimately the sufferer were the citizens of Ayodhya. So if the executive is having so much power, please come out with the law that even the Supreme Court will not have the power to intervene. Whatsoever the parliament or the ordinance will be saying issued, immediately the construction by demolishing the mosque can be done. Otherwise, instead of, when we are in a democracy, and democracy is the beauty of our Indian democracy is the judiciary. If we have faith in judiciary, let this case, whatsoever has happened, let it be decided. But these type of statements of a deputy chief minister, might be ruling party, is not acceptable. It should not be there. He should understand, after all, that when the chief minister is not speaking, you are only a deputy chief minister. Instead of just fighting among yourself, you want to score the things, and that's why you are doing it. One should not do it. And instead of making temple, please make a hospital there. Mathura people are running to Delhi just for the beds. We have seen how there's no good hospital in Mathura. There is no good educational institution there, no IIT, no IIM. Why? Go for that. Then people would like to vote, but not just to see to it that we will create a hamburg like this. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Karu News, as well as was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day new topic in media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. And tomorrow, our topic in media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. is Omicron. Omicron impact on Indian economy. As we know that new variant has come. What is going to be the impact on Indian economy? We have to analyze it. And our panelists are Mr. Ramnath Pradeep. He's LLB PG Economics. He's the former chairman and managing director, Corporation Bank, Mumbai. Dr. Santosh Kumar Patnaik, former managing director, Indian Railway Finance Corporation, New Delhi. Mr. R. Kannan, corporate advisor, keynote speaker, ex-TCS, ICICI Bank and Hinduja Group, Mumbai. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Advocate Gagan Gandhi, for giving your views, very, very lively views. And I am sure that the way you have tackle in absence of others, because all others were given their views, but you were there. And the way you have replied all my tough questions, it clearly shows that we have such type of legal people of this age who are going to protect the judiciary and the judicial system in future, who are never want that anything should be done unethically, illegally. Thank you very much, Advocate Gagan Gandhi, and thank you very
Thank you.
much, Mr. Pradeep Mathur. Thank you very much, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, for giving views, and thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much. And we hope that tomorrow nothing will happen and everything will be peaceful, so that we will not have to create and to do any other further such type of program. Thank you very much.